Hey guys, Dr. Frost. We're back in the echoey room, and you know what that means. We are in the barn, which means another RC car review video. Guys, I'm sorry. I know the last video was about the 5G down there, which is going to have some surprise upgrades for the near future, or whenever my teacher gives me the okay to start using the machines. Wink, wink, hint, hint. I'm so sorry about the deadline for the last video. I said I'd be doing a new video about Slash, but a huge problem with that arose, and that was my servo motor. There's been a whole series of events being just annoying and rude, and the car is just a mess, but don't worry, it's still here, and I promise you that video will be here as soon as possible. You know, it's not even the Slash anymore. I don't know what to call it. I called it Scorpio for a month and a half at once, but no. Anyways, sorry. Enough about the past, let's focus on the now. Okay, here we've got the Arrma Fazon. I've had this thing for about a year. Yeah, it's actually been 1 year from the 13th. So let's just get right into it. Now to start off, let's look at the wheelbase. This thing is a monster. I can't even speak today, I'm sorry. Let me show you it next to its transmitter. Yeah, that's right. The transmitter is the size of the wheels. Now, little disclaimer, these are not the stock wheels, and I'll get to that later and why these aren't the stock wheels for this video, even though this is a video of this car stock form. But just at a glance, this thing looks mean and aggressive and tough, and ignore the bright yellow zip ties. I'll explain why that's there later, and I did that myself. That's not factory. Now, with this thing having its wheelie mode, which also we'll get to in just a moment, it likes to flip over, so it's kind of hard to keep the body clean, but when it does look clean, or when it is clean, it looks so nice. Let's just get you a few different angles. And ground clearance for this thing is no issue. Now, as long as you're not doing ridiculous rock crawling, or if you are, at least if you're being smart about it, you won't scratch the bottom, which thankfully and helpfully is like most other RC cars, and the bottom is on 3 plates. Well, not 3 plates. I mean, it's got like the main chassis plate, and then like the front axle and the rear, which actually each front and rear axle have 2 different plates on the bottom. So if you scratch one piece, that's fine. You don't have to replace the entire bottom of it like other cars do. Sorry about that. I had a bad cough there. So let's get enough about the looks. Now let's talk about things to change because of the looks. Now, I know what I just said might have made no sense to you, so let's break it down. So basically, here's the stock wheel. Looks nice, it's dirty, it's been through sand dunes, and well, ironically, it's only been through 60 feet of sand dunes until the car broke. Can't handle sand that well, despite its appearance. I'll get to that later and why it should handle well as long as you drive it properly. Anyways, here's the wheel, and here's another wheel. This happened to 2 of my wheels. I believe this is my front driver's side wheel. Because of the high RPMs and the lockable differentials, which we'll also get into later, this wheel likes to spread out. So what I did was I was thinking like this at first. Now, before I change out all 4 of my wheels, because I don't want to have 2 this size and 2 this size, because it's a 4-wheel drive car, so that wouldn't be very good for it, for the rotational momentum of the drive shaft and the axles and the whole car, as a whole. Let's just try fixing this one at first. So what I did was I spent like 3 days, like 4 hours at a time, periodically just gluing the cracks of the tires until I got like a 1/2 inch thick, solid, just mound of glue. And it was really nice. It was nice and smooth. It didn't have a lot of bumps in it. So it would help with the rotational movement of the wheel and wouldn't counterweight it or counterbalance the wheel at high RPMs. I was really diligent about it. Except, no, it just didn't, no. 10 feet through grass, and this happened. It just split apart, and the glue, I guess the inner, like one of the first layers wasn't completely dry, I guess, maybe because the outer layers, what happened was they dried on top of the inner undried layers, which locked all air out from the inner layers. Long story short, wasn't completely dry. It will never become completely dry, even if you wait like days, which I did at one point. For the first few layers, I thought about that, and I did 1 layer a day. So actually, no, not 3 days. I did it for a week. It just doesn't work. It's a dumb idea. It's just a waste of your time. At least for this car. Maybe if you do it, you'll know a better way. Bead locks, maybe you can just get them right from the start. But what I just did was I went to these wheels, and somehow, I mean, beforehand, I did a little bit of glue just out of, just to be on the safe side. I just did a little extra bead of glue around it. Works fine. And ironically, even though these ones have a smaller sidewall, this one, because of this tire thing right here, it actually has, it theoretically would be more susceptible to ballooning out. Somehow though, I don't know how, it doesn't. It balloons much less than these tires. Again, they're wider, so you'd think they would balloon more. I don't know the science behind why the wider doesn't balloon in this case, because I don't know. I'm sorry, I have no idea. But let's put these out of the way and get to the other stuff. So the body, let's talk about that for a second. As you can see here, it's actually got stock. I bought this body because the stock one, it just, it just scratched too much. Because this is a hard car to learn to control at first. But it comes with little rubber things to hold the clips. Those actually break or rip where they actually hold the clip, or the body pin, whatever you would like to call it. It's not good. It just doesn't work. So what I did is I actually took zip ties. I got some red, nice looking zip ties, and what I can do now is, hopefully I can get this one handed. First try. Oh, no, goes in this way. Okay, and then you just stick it into the hole. Make sure there's nothing in its way. And you put the other one in, and I did it wrong. I did it kind of backwards. But basically, if you can like orient the zip tie loop the proper way, it goes really flat. And from a distance, when it's actually on the ground and you're just up here standing, it actually looks like it's part of the paint. Really nice, actually. You do the same thing for the rear. I just did red zip ties all the way around. Just 4 red zip ties. So that worked great. Now let's talk about what I said earlier. It's just, again, with the appearance and stuff. Just disclaimer, it does not come with a light bar, nor does it come with the headlights that I installed. If you want headlights, it doesn't. It comes with a few auxiliary outputs and this extra switch, but this extra switch on here, focus please. That's programmable, but I haven't done it. I just stick to what's in here. There's a switch in here that I'd like to use. Sorry, anyways, outside, the differentials. I know the differentials aren't outside, but they're key to the wheels, and the wheels on the outside of the car. Now, what I said earlier about the differentials, why they messed up the wheels, I said that basically it's really cool. It's called, there's 4 settings. The first of which, all 3 are unlocked. Which is for default, like it says on there. Those are for like on-road track driving, just puffing around. Not really track. This isn't an on-road track car unless you lower it, which then it, I guess, could be. If you lower it, I mean, it would have an awesome center of gravity, so it wouldn't roll that much at all. Unless, you do something stupid with it. But anyway, sorry. So those have it all locked, or unlocked, my bad. Turn it 1 forward. The middle one is locked. That is for, I don't quite remember what that is. I believe that's for wheeling, or I can't remember completely what that's for, but it's helpful. I don't remember. I'm sorry. My apologies. I think that's actually wheelie mode, but this third mode, which locks the rear 2 and unlocks the front one, that actually helps with the rotational mass or momentum of the wheels. So because these 2 are locked and spinning at the same speed, and these 2 are unlocked and one's spinning a little bit less than the other potentially, it allows this thing to do crazy drifts and awesome stuff, which ironically does a better job at wheelie mode than the real wheelie mode does. It just lifts up if you go in a straight line, and as long as you're at a dead stop at first. I think the actual wheelie mode is better for wheelies. It's a slow rolling pace, but that's just what I found in my personal opinion. And the full, like the last mode, if you do not drive this fast on pavement, this is for off-road sand, locks everything. Obviously, all wheels are moving at the same speed. Even when you're going into a turn like this, your inner wheels are going to move at the same speed as your outer wheels, just, for grip and stuff. Speaking of turning, now I guess we're just going to move away from now that we're done with the aesthetics, just front to back. Now, speaking of turning, that's, you know, close up to the front. I found that the spring in here, the clutch assembly spring for actually like turning, like keeping the servo motor, like saving it and stuff, it's a little too tight. I loosened it about 1.5 turns, which should not have to be done, but that's fine, I guess. Not a huge deal. Actually, no, it was an annoying deal. Now that I think about it, this was a while ago, so I'm just trying to remember. When I did so, the screws in here aren't the best quality, so the way they lock onto the, also the Allen wrenches I were using weren't the best quality, but they actually locked on so well in certain areas of like the actually unscrewing it that it broke off the bit end of my Allen wrench, and it's not fun. It's not, no. Now moving away to the back, let's do the bottom first. Now you might be wondering, I said earlier, these are just one center panel. Well, kind of. This whole box can actually be removed. Let me just get the body out of the way so you can see it a little bit better. But basically, you push this red button in. Let's get it to focus. Okay, you push this red button in. Normally it comes out, but I got a little bit of sand in there, so it's a little gritty, sorry. And you put your battery in here, you close it up, and you just put your battery cable through that hole, or really any of these holes, and then you just hook it up to both of the things. Obviously, because there's 2 plugs, sorry, I shouldn't have said things. There's 2 electric ports in here. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff to walk around. There's obviously 2 battery spots. So, with that being said, let's move on to the internals. Now, occasionally this will get a little dusty. However, the body keep does a great job hugging snug to the car and the chassis, the battery cages. Now, ignore all this wiring. These are just some headlights and taillights, turn signals, and reverse lights that I've done. This is hot glue, which they're really good. If you want me to do a review on those separately, I will. I just want to say now, they're a really good bang for your buck. They're $75, but they're programmable from anything from street cars, drift cars, race performance RC cars, drones, I think, boats. No, sorry, not drones, but boats, planes, I think helicopters. They're really versatile and really cool. Anyway, sorry about that. So this thing is insane. 22 volts. It has a really good efficiency, especially as long as you drive it like smart, and if you're like, as long as you don't like full power, full off. This is not a car for the beginners, because beginners tend to do that. And I'm not saying they're bad for that, but like beginners are not bad for that, but it's not the best for the car. Is, you know, easing under the throttle, you know, it's less wear on your brakes if you have those, but normally you probably don't have those on your electric RC car. It's just better for the clutch system. More accurately, it's stiffer clutch in this. Yeah. Now, what I might say is you might want to do like a heat shrink on these wires, just in case. I don't, because I'm not paranoid about that, but if you want to, you can. Also, if you ever want to do wiring like I did, they make it super difficult to keep it like centered. Like I'm OCD about centering things. In hindsight, I probably should have had it go under, but that's okay. You think there's a reason. Oh yeah. I was afraid that if the electrical tape ripped, then it would get caught up in here, which I've had problems like that. A lot of the times, the servo motors, you can see one in there, for the differentials, the wires will actually come out of their little plastic housings. They're really cheap, little clipped in, and they actually go in there, and then they get shredded up by the clutch system in there, the gears. Let's see if I can get they just get shredded up in there. I've had that happen before. It was only like a $20 fix, and it took me an hour to fix at the time. That was my first time doing it. So not a huge issue, but still, something to watch out for. Also, I don't live that many dunes. I go to the dunes a lot in the summertime, which is fun. But if you live mostly in the suburb areas, I tuned my shocks. All I did in the rears was go mostly stiff. They were a little bit further back, so you can see by the springs, there's only like about 1 thread. Let me just line it up, sorry. There's only about 1 thread or so from the thinnest spring point. I'm sorry, you can't focus, but I'm telling you right now, there's only 1 thread line from the thinnest point of the spring. And for this one, I don't know exactly how many thread lines, but I think I actually just rotated this 2 or 3 full revolutions. and it's fine now. It's really nice adjustable springs. They're really cool. Also, it's a really robust car, especially because it has two long plates. They look super cool with these holes cut in them, but I don't think it takes away too much from the structural integrity of it, especially because you've got this whole thing, which it doesn't look like it'd be that stable, but this is actually the roll bar for all the electronics and the components in here, and it does a phenomenal job, especially combined with the structural integrity of the rear shock tower. Sorry, I'm used to this being a shock tower. For the rear body mount and the front body mount, for it being mounted in the way that it is, it's so cool. Not to mention, for robustness, they also took the shocks, put them inboard the car, and that way if you hit something, boom, you won't break your aluminum shocks. Also, comes with nice little CV or shock boots in there. Sorry, not CV boots, which is actually a thing this car doesn't come with. If you ever run in snow or water or a puddle, just get CV boots. These things rust so easily. It's not even funny. I went through probably 60 feet of snow. Came inside, airbrushed it off like 5 times, dried it off. I just missed the CV joints and they rusted immediately. Which, you know, what can you do except either make or buy CV joints, or buy new axles. But these axles are $60 a piece for the whole like thing. Like the sleeve, I don't think, at least at my local hobby shop, they don't get whole new like axle, or parts of the axle. I had to buy a whole new thing for $60, and that's just one axle, not all 4. It was absurd. Which is weird though, because the inner drive shaft, separated drive shaft pieces, those somehow come with CV joints. I don't know why. I think that these ones that are actually outside of the car, not in the center of it, do. But yeah, the motor is really nice. The slipper clutch really nice. Every 6 months I find it lacking, so I just give like a fifth of a turn and it's fine again. It's really good like that. It's really reliable, just except for the CV boots, or joints, and the body pin clip things, but those are like a few dollars, and it's also, you can get zip ties, one zip tie here for like 25 cents. You know, if you do the math, buy a zip tie, a bag of them, you can do the math at like 25 cents. Anything else? For final remarks, I'd say this car is really good. Okay, first of all, it looks super cool. It has lots of adjustment features, like the suspension, all the different mounting points. But beyond the threaded suspension, you also get 4 different adjustment points for each shock. Let me show you the underneath of it. This is actually one of 2 center skid plates that the car comes with. This one is for the sand, because it's it's higher up. There's a street one that actually has a large air scoop come down right here to bring in more air. I think that maybe for driving the street, you're gonna go faster, which might take more air. I have no idea. I've run this on the street, and it's fine, personally. It works great, I think. It's really nice, a really great system, it works awesome. I think the reason they give you the secondary skid plate for the dirt is because for sand, or I guess dirt if you want to. It just does. Sorry, I misspoke again. I meant to say for the street one, the street bottom skid plate, where it comes down, they give you this flat one, cause for dirt. I'm sure both of them have the same air intake qualities, but the one for dirt, or the one for street, if you race it in dirt, it will just scoop up the dirt and it'll just clog that. So I think they both give you the same air intake quality, but one's just higher to the car, I guess. So that's my final remarks. All the carbon fiber on here is fake. Oh yes, sorry, adjustability. The wheelie bars have 4 adjustment points. It's really helpful, and they actually make a big difference for performance. Whether you want to show off and do wheelies, or are you a track day bro? Please tell me someone got a joke in the comments. This likes to scratch a lot. Other than that, it's a really great car. It's super reliable. The only problems I've ever had with it was the wire issue, which is super annoying, like ridiculously annoying. which I'm sure someone out there made a 3D printing download that you can get. If not, I'm probably gonna make one. If you guys want me to put it on Thingiverse, tell me and I will. Yeah, so besides really that, the wiring and the stuff, it's really reliable. Mechanically, it's extremely sound, except for the CV boots. It's really just the small things. They really nailed down the whole like internal like structure, the quality. If I want to, I don't want to hurt my hand because it's, you know, hard metal stuff. But I would honestly punch this and feel fine that this would be fine. I just hurt my hand. So yeah, it's just like the small outer things that it's got to watch out for. Motor is super robust. ESC is extremely robust. The fans, I keep taking the sound off, sorry. The fans, it has an ESC fan it comes with. It does a great job. Just, you know, every time you drive this, if you have an air compressor, it's probably best just to take the air compressor and blow it all out. But other than that, it's a great car and great quality. It comes with a nice goodie bag of parts. I don't have that with me because I, you know, took that apart a year ago when I got the car. So, you know. Oh yes, sorry, the spoiler. You can buy this separately, I believe. But if you do wheelies and stuff, this will get scratched up. So just be on the lookout for that because it can end up looking really bad. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time here on my channel, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day.